Today I'm baking an orange, cranberry, and pecan holiday loaf. Let's get to it. 2 cups of dried cranberries, 3/4 cups of chopped pecans, the zest of 1 orange, 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar, 2 tablespoons of soft unsalted butter, 1.5 tablespoons of Grand Marnier, juice of 1 orange, half a cup of buttermilk, 3 cups of bread flour, 2 room temp eggs, 3/4 teaspoons of salt, and 3.5 teaspoons of instant yeast, and an egg for an egg wash if you choose. Let's mix our flour, our sugar, our salt, and then our yeast together, and then we're going to give it a quick stir. After the ingredients have combined, we're going to put it on our mixer and add our 2 eggs and combine the eggs with the dry ingredients. Take our half a cup of buttermilk or milk and pour that in and let that combine as well. Take our 1.5 tablespoons of Grand Marnier or orange extract, whichever you prefer, the butter and the orange zest, and let that combine. It's very thick at this point. We haven't added our orange juice yet, so we're going to go ahead and start putting our orange juice in a little bit at a time here, and you're just looking for it to wetten up, loosen up a little bit so it's not as thick. It gets to be a little bit more sticky here. Switch over to the bread hook, and we're going to let that knead that bread for about 6 minutes, keeping an eye on the sides of the pan and the bottom. If it's sticking, you want to loosen that up, add a little bit more flour to where the loaf is moving around the pan freely. Once you see that and the 6 minutes have gone by, you're going to add your pecans and your berries, and you're going to let that run until the mixture is combined together. Once it's all combined, we're going to take it off the mixer and we're going to put it into a prepared bowl, which we're going to spray with oil, drop our dough into it, and then cover it up with some plastic and let it sit for 1 to 2 hours until it doubles in size. Once that has happened, you're going to take it out of the bowl and put it onto a floured surface. And we're going to make it into 6 different pieces. We want 3 sections that weigh 10 ounces each, and then we want 3 sections that weigh 4 ounces each. This recipe makes a double-decker loaf here. Once you get your 10 ounces and 4 ounces, you're going to start rolling it out until the large rolls are about 9 inches in length. You can measure them if you want, or you can just eyeball it. The important part is that you have enough length to where you can put the pieces together. We're going to braid these pieces together. So we want all 3 to be of equal size. If you have some fruit sticking out the edges, I like to remove that because there's a possibility that they could burn. And then on the 3 shorter ones, we're going to roll them out until they're about 7 inches or 2 inches shorter than the long ones. Now we're going to braid the lower section of the bread. This is the larger or longer rolls. Make an X and then put the third one over one side of the X, and then we're going to braid it just like we're braiding hair. Make sure we have enough and they're even to braid with, and then pinch the edges with it, your fingers, and then come on the other side. And it's like a reverse braid. Takes you a minute to get used to doing something in reverse when it comes to braiding, or at least it did for me. Put the edges together, clean off your table a little bit, and then you're going to transfer the loaf onto a baking sheet that has parchment paper. Set that off to the side, and then we're going to do the exact same things with the littler ones. I like to give them an extra roll just in case they shrank up a little bit while they've been sitting. Make the X, put the third one over it, and start your braiding. Pinch your ends together, go to the other side, braid it as well. Pinch your ends together, and then you're going to set it directly on top of the first larger loaf. At this time, I'm going to give it an egg wash. This will allow it to be a nice brown color when it's done baking. And then I'm going to let it proof for another 90 minutes. After it's proofed for another 90 minutes, I'm going to get a second egg wash. Again, this is something you do not have to do, but I like the color it provides the bread without over baking it. Once that's done, it's ready to go in the oven. The oven has been preheated to 325 degrees. Bake it for 25 minutes. Then turn your pan 180 degrees and bake it for another 25 or 30 minutes until it's done. Pull it out of the oven. It's a beautiful brown holiday loaf, orange, cranberry, and pecan holiday loaf. It's very delicious. It's full of flavor from the orange zest, the orange liqueur, the cranberries, the pecans. You'll enjoy this bread. It's beautiful to look at as much as it is to eat, filled with flavor. As a special treat during the holidays, if you want to make something that's very memorable, cut this in about half-inch thick slices and make some French toast. Oh my goodness, delicious. Thanks for watching the video. Good luck in your baking.